Hey guys, hey everybody, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? My name is Makeda Valletta, also known as the Renaissance Amazon, in case you're unfamiliar with me. I am a dancer, a trainer, a nutritionist, a sacred sexual educator, a serious student of Black dance and the body, a critical thinker. I like to research anthropology and history, archaeology, all those things, okay? And so, I've had so many things I want to talk about, but I've been busy because I'm also in school doing a master's degree, and it's been taking up so much of my time in medical cannabis science, which I'm all about the body and how we can take our body to its highest level. All the ways we can take our body to its highest level in this lifetime. And sexuality and the health of our sexual organs is part of that. And for those who follow me, you know that I'm not about sexual shame. Like, sexuality is a normal thing. One thing that I always say is that we are sexual beings. We all have sex, unless you have a lame-ass life, okay? We all have sex. Good sex is one of the things that makes life worth living and gets us closer to the goddess, okay? And also, we all come from sex, okay? We're all here because our parents had sex, okay? So it's a natural, normal part of life. And it's patriarchal religion. Luckily, I wasn't raised in the church. I wasn't raised with the Bible. I wasn't raised with the Quran. I wasn't raised in a mosque. I wasn't raised in a synagogue. I was not indoctrinated with patriarchal religion, okay? And I have several books because I'm a researcher. I'm an avid reader. I have hundreds of books, and I read some real shit, scholarly texts. And there's lots of documentation about what the patriarchal religions have done to the suppression of the human body, sexuality, the woman, but also the man too, okay? And so I'm saying all this to say, okay, let me bring it back to, I'm a Harlem native, okay? 80s baby, Harlem native. I grew up right across in the South Bronx where hip-hop was created. Juice and New Jack City were filmed on my block and in my building. My dad wrote an article in the first issue of The Source. I definitely am a hip-hop head. I grew up around hip-hop. I grew up in the 80s and 90s in New York City at the height of hip-hop, okay? Immersed in it. And so I love hip-hop. I will always love hip-hop. I loved hip-hop in the 90s, and I love it now, okay? But I just get so sick and tired of both men and women criticizing these young female rappers, okay? All the young rappers, the younger female rappers, a lot of them are talking about sex. A lot of them are talking about what turns them on sexually. Somebody just called me. Hopefully you guys can hear me. A lot of them are talking about what turns them on sexually. And you have so many people complaining. Men complaining about, oh, these women, all they do is talk about sex, blah, 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 blah. And that annoys me because I'm like, do you know how long men were also talking about sex? Do you know how long men were talking about their dick? And you know how disrespectful a lot of male rappers were? There's a lot of people nowadays who try to like rewrite history, and they try to act like everything in the 90s was so PC and so respectful. It wasn't, okay? I honestly feel like hip-hop was more disrespectful in the 90s than it is now. You have so many male rappers who beat the shit out of women, and I've done videos on this in the past, whether it be Dre, whether it be Biggie, whether it be Pun. Pun's one of my favorite, but Pun was a woman beater. Biggie's ugly ass definitely was a woman beater. Dre was a woman beater. Eazy-E, may he fuck that piece of shit, okay? Eazy-E, AIDS-infested ass Eazy-E, he was on MTV after Dre beat the shit out of Dee Barnes. Okay. Okay. After Dre beat the shit out of Dee Barnes and a whole bunch of other women, but specifically Dee Barnes, Eazy-E went on MTV, and you can go on YouTube and find it, where he said that she deserves it, and if he sees her again, he's gonna beat her ass again because of some shit that Ice Cube said. Ice Cube's a bitch too. Okay. So you have all of that. Nowadays, if that went down, there's no way that would be okay. People complain about cancel culture now, but cancel culture is not all the way bad because there are people who deserve to be canceled. And just because people love their art so much, they just put these people on the pedestal. Like, I can love your art and realize you're a fucked up individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like R. Kelly's music, but I realize he's a fucked up individual. I like pun, but I know puns, you know, so, but a lot of people, they don't even want to, you know, they just act like these people are saints. So now you got people criticizing Sexyy Red, okay? Sexyy Red had an STD that she got from the man that she was, the father of her child, right? And on my other page, The Body Scientist, I talk a lot about infectious diseases. I talk a lot about sexual health and all those things. But to not get too scientific, and you can check those videos, but to not get too scientific, an infection is an infection. Whether somebody has an infection on their scalp, on their foot, on their genitals, on their skin, if you have an infection, okay, you have an imbalance of bacteria, and infection is a motherfucking infection. People don't shame people if they have a lung infection or a scalp infection or a foot infection. It's all the body. But when it's the genitals, like, people get shamed. But yet, people can shame her. But yet, Eazy-E died of AIDS, okay? And people don't make fun of him like that. Because to me, I'm like, how'd you get AIDS? I really believe that people that begin HIV and AIDS be doing it in the butt, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised if Eazy-E was taking it in the booty, all right? But nobody is making fun of, is treating him that way. I mean, Magic Johnson had HIV and AIDS and had sex with all these women. People didn't treat him that way, right? But the fact of the matter is that, to me, it's like, who cares? Like, all these years, men were talking about their dick and suck my dick and blah, 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 blah. And people say that hip-hop is supposed to be real. Isn't that what people say? Especially old school people. Oh, we got to be real. Hip-hop is real. Blah, 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 blah. We talking about real life. We talking about what we see every day. We talking about all that bullshit, right? So if that's the case, then why are you mad about women talking about sex? Isn't that real life? Don't we all fuck? And to be real with you, it's already known that women are more sexual than men. Women are more orgasmic than men. We desire sex more than men. Yes, there's exceptions to the rules. There are some women who may not be that like that, and there are some men who might. But generally speaking, women think about sex and desire sex more than men. But women just don't always vocalize it because they're afraid of being called a hoe or being judged and yada, yada, yada. Now, as a woman, hold on a minute. As a woman, I think it's utterly ridiculous for women to try to do what they think men like. Because I don't give a fuck. Because if a woman is prudish and it's like, oh, I'm not having sex with you for 6 months and you have to spend a certain amount of money on me first and blah, 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 blah. Men don't like that, okay? Men complain about women like that. But then, part of getting to know somebody and even knowing if you want to take it further is having sex with them. So when men be getting mad that a woman has sex with 30 men in her life, like, and all these men that had sex with more than that. But it's just ridiculous because where's all this shame coming from? Who cares? People are grown. As long as you're not messing with kids, and as long as you're not raping anybody, and as long as it's two consenting adults who ain't siblings and shit, then who cares? We're sexual beings. And if you actually read books, because most people don't read and study shit. I told you I'm into history and I'm into anthropology. If you actually study that stuff, you study the ancient art, you study history, anthropology, you won't understand that the people that came before us, before we were colonized, they were way more sexual than we were. You know, they're way more sexual than us. You see, and people talk about what's written in stone. You see in the walls of caves and in ancient art. Damn, I should have brought some of the art that I have. This is in my bedroom. This is my bedroom. But this is just one I got in Colombia. Okay, it's pre-colonial art. And you see how the penis is emphasized here? Okay, I have some other art in my room that I didn't bring in here that I should have brought. One was this art from Mexico. Yeah, I don't have any of that. It's from Mexico. I'll do it in another video. But it's a woman riding a man. And in this sculpture, they emphasize the balls, the penis, and the vagina. Someone said, I don't think when people criticize female rappers to insinuate that they're doing wrong or they're bad people. It's the fact that that's the only thing we see from female rappers, especially black female artists. First of all, that's stupid and dumb. That's not true at all, okay? Nobody ever talks about Young M.A, all right? Young M.A is one of the best rappers to me, okay? Nobody even talks about her. But besides that, Did anybody say that about Missy? Do you understand that almost every song Missy came out with was about some freaky sex? Nobody ever said, oh, Missy talks about sex too much. Nobody ever said that to Missy. You know why? Because Missy's not a sex symbol, so it's like it goes over people's head. But if you listen to Missy's songs, Missy was always rapping about sex. Okay? Now, did anybody, for decades, all we heard from men was about how you're going to sell drugs, how you're going to shoot up the hood, okay? How you're going to shoot your ops, you're going to put somebody 6 feet under, you're going to fuck somebody's girl. That's all you heard from dudes. There's male rappers like Big L from Harlem. He was good, but every time I listen to it, there's no Big L song I listen to where I actually like the lyrics. Every single song he's talking about murdering people, and then his ass got killed, okay? And there's so many male rappers like that. Some of your favorite male rappers that you put on a fucking pedestal, okay, that's all they rap about. LL Cool J wasn't like that. Heavy D wasn't like that, okay? But they didn't get the props that they should get. It's always the men who are talking about how they're going to shoot people, okay? And that's not all we hear from women, and so the fuck what? If that is all we heard, so what? I would rather see half-naked women twerking and talking about sex than seeing a bunch of dudes with Timbs and hoodies on stage, okay? Back in the day when hip-hop was super male-dominated, all we saw was a bunch of dudes on stage with hoodies and Timbs and looking dusty and dirty with all they dudes on stage. And then people stay getting shot at a goddamn concert. People don't get shot at these women's concerts. No female rappers have been killed, except for Magnolia Shorty in New Orleans, and I don't know what her car got shot up. But we don't see female rappers getting killed. Every other week it's a male rapper getting killed. People say, oh, the female rappers, they beef too much. No, they don't. The men beef too much. Me being a hip-hop head, I still learn about beefs people had I didn't know they had. I never knew Cameron and Mace had beef. I never knew that Dipset and Lox had beef. I never fucking knew that that Nelly and Chingy had beef. Like, there's so many beefs that people had from back then. Can't even keep track of it. The women don't have that many beefs. You see women collaborating with each other all the time, supporting each other all the time. And in the 90s, the early 2000s, every time you saw a female rapper, she was always in a crew of dudes. You had Eve with Rough Riders. You had Rod Digger with Flip Mode Squad. You had Kim with Biggie. You had Foxy with Jay-Z and then with Nas. You know what I'm saying? You had Lauryn Hill with the Fugees. There was no female rapper who stood on her own. Now you have a whole bunch of female rappers who stand on their own. They say what they want to say. They do what they want to do. And you know what? Sex sells as well. It's a business. Okay? I make videos all day on my page, The Body Scientist. And I talk about health stuff. I talk about some shit that can help you, your parents, and your children live their best life disease-free. I say I have a lot of jewels. But people don't care about that. If I was talking about this right now with a sweatsuit, I bet you I'm going to get a lot of views just because of how I'm dressed right now. I could be talking about anything. But just because of how I'm dressed right now, people are going to watch it. So if you're in a business, okay, where it's a business now, and you want to get your numbers up and your sales up, you have to give the people what they want. So that also dictates, okay? Like for me, I'm going to dance regardless. I'm a dancer. I'm always dancing. I'm always in bikinis. So because sometimes I choose to share that with you guys, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I'm not just doing that to get numbers up, but at the same time, it's like I already do that. So now I'm sharing it with you, and I just observe what gets the most views, and that's what it is. And sometimes I feel like if I want to put an important message somewhere, I should just dance in a bikini, dance, talk, or put the words on because that's what people pay attention to. So now you have a big industry like the entertainment industry who's investing in people, and they want to sell. And they're going to observe and see what sells. And on top of that, women do think about sex a lot. Seems like men can't handle that. Men have a problem when women aren't sexual enough. Men have a problem when women are too sexual. That's why, ladies, fuck trying to please these dudes. Do you. Okay? Because on the one hand, like Shannon Sharp, I did a video about this. He's complaining, oh, Brittany Griner had sex with 35 men. Oh my God, he's spitting out his water. When we know he's probably had sex with, I'm sure he's had sex with more than 300, okay? He's freaking out about that. But then he says he wants a nasty girl like Miss B Nasty, who I'm a fan of. You know what I'm saying? Miss B Nasty is a porn star, a porn artist, okay? And so you go from, I'm sure she's had sex with more than 35 people. So you go from saying, you know, oh, 35 men is too much, and you're trying so hard to shame this girl who's fine with herself. Brittany whatever her name is. And then Brittany Renner, I think. And then you go and say you don't want a goody two-shoes girl. You want a girl who is a sinner. You want a girl like Be Nasty. How contradictory is that? Somebody said, but can you at least see where people, especially black women, are coming from when they say they don't want to be represented like that? No, I don't understand that at all. No, I don't. You obviously aren't listening to the words that I'm saying. No, I fucking don't. Okay? Because you see this? This is pre-colonial art. Pre-motherfucking colonial. Do you see how they're butt-ass naked and the genitals are fucking out? Do you see that? Okay? That's before the colonizers came and said, oh, this is indecent. You have to cover up. And they came with their Bibles. So the person who's asking me that question, did you grow up in church? Did you grow up religious? It sounds like you did. Because they beat all this shame into people with this religious bullshit. And that's what I'm calling it. Religious bullshit. Got people brainwashed. That's the problem with the motherfucking planet, is all this stupid ass religion. Okay? And I have a long book list. Because I'm not just saying what I'm saying. There's facts behind this. And I have a long book list that I can recommend. And if you follow me on Instagram, look at the books that I post. On YouTube, I will post a list. Maybe I'll put it on Instagram too. A list of books that you can check out. Most of y'all don't read. I do read. Okay? So there's a whole history behind what I'm saying. And I've done YouTube videos on this in the past. I'm not going to get into it now. But no, I don't understand. Because first of all, female rappers don't represent all women, okay? They don't represent all black women. So what the fuck are you talking about? You don't want to be represented like that. Do you know there's a Michelle Obama in this world. There's Serena Williams in this world. There's all kinds of black women in this world who are not rappers and who are not doing that. So what kind of idiotic thing is that to say that, oh, black women don't want to be represented like that? There's no one way that black women are. That sounds dumb. But what black men should worry about is how are you being represented? Because you know what? I just saw in Memphis and Atlanta. In Atlanta, there was just a couple days ago. I'm making a lot of reasonable points, but then again, I saw you dissing West Coast artists and spreading hate, saying good riddance to a post about Eazy-E, which was not right. Dude, you should suck a dick just like Eazy-E. And shut the fuck up, okay? Because fuck Eazy-E. And I say that with my whole being, okay? Eazy-E was a piece of shit. He looked like shit with his fucking jerry curl, okay? All those West Coast people look corny as shit with them jerry curls and them chucks and them shirts buttoned up to the top button, look corny as fuck, okay? And then he was a woman beater, and Dee Barnes did not deserve to get her ass beat by Dr. Dre because of some shit that bitch-ass Ice Cube said. And West Coast dudes are the bitchiest, okay? They are. They're the worst crop of dudes in America, are West Coast dudes. West Coast dudes are corny. They have no motherfucking swag. Even this dude that Keke Palmer, her baby daddy, he's from motherfucking LA. Him and his bitch-ass brother, Serrano Jackson, they're from LA. I'm like, oh, says a lot. No swag, okay? New York dudes got swag. Detroit dudes got swag. Motherfucking Chicago dudes got swag. You can say Houston, everybody but the West Coast, okay? Which is weird because most of the black people on the West Coast come from Louisiana, and I love people from Louisiana, the men and the women. I don't know what the fuck happened when they went to California, but no, okay? Fuck Eazy-E, okay? And I know I'm making reasonable points because I'm smart, all right? Now, back to the point, okay? Look at Jamaican dancehall, okay? It's not just hip hop where you have women being sexual. Look at Jamaican dancehall. Is anybody going and complaining that, oh my God, Patra was talking about sex too much? Are you gonna go tell the female dancehall artist that, huh? Do you know that dancehall has a long legacy of women also being overtly sexual? I said in the beginning of this video, I studied black dance from the diaspora. I have studied extensively Afro-Cuban stuff, Afro-Haitian, Afro-Brazilian, Afro-Colombian, Afro-Peruvian, Afro-Puerto Rican, some Afro-Dominicana, you know, and I'm American, but there's so many black American dances. I'm interested in the booty dances, so give me some twerking and some bounce from New Orleans. But does anybody ever say, oh, Patrick is being too sexual? Oh, we don't want to be represented like that. Oh, fucking well, okay? Because there's a long history of female artists in the Americas in popular music being overtly sexual, okay? A long history of it. And ain't nobody gonna go complain about Patra being too da-da-da-da. And men are so hypocritical because of all these women who are being sexual, talking about sex and showing their body. If they all stopped, a lot of y'all would be bored. Because men look at that shit. I know, okay? I know as a woman who be half naked, I know how much men look at that. I know how men seek women out because they saw her somewhere. Every time I find a pretty girl on Instagram that I start following, I find some girl on Instagram who's gorgeous. I'm like, wow. I go to follow her. Almost every dude I know is already following her. Okay? So you know what that tells me? A lot of men would be sad and motherfucking bored if you didn't have girls half naked on the internet and Instagram and everything else. Y'all be upset. Y'all bitch and complain about it, but y'all be looking at the shit. So how hypocritical are you? A lot of you men aren't that motherfucking smart. Okay? Now, back to the point. Men have always wanted to control women's bodies. Okay? So now, dudes are mad because they can't control a woman's body. Because these women are talking about what they want, what they desire. And a lot of men are whack as fuck sexually. So a lot of men don't measure up to that. You don't got a big dick. You don't got big dick energy. You don't got no skills. So you're intimidated by women who talk about that, know what they want, and demanding it, and saying, if you can't please me, get the fuck up out of here. You're intimidated by that. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with it. I don't care how much somebody talks about sex. So what? We are sexual beings. Everybody should be having as much good sex as they can in this lifetime. Okay? Because there is a time when you might get sick, or you might get old and certain body parts ain't working. You might be a man, you don't get no erections no more. You might be a woman and your vagina dries up and don't work no more. I mean, you can prevent that, okay? I have classes on that. But I've known older people who said to me, I wish I had more good sex when I was younger, instead of talking about what I wouldn't do. All right? We're sexual beings. Who cares? Yes, all performance, yes. Jamaican culture is hip-hop, call and response. So dancing is our culture. The human body is beautiful. Exactly. Another dude said, truth, if it wasn't for the IG ladies, we would be bored as fuck. For real. Exactly. So I'm like, why can't dudes be thankful? Why can't you be like, I'm so thankful this girl decides to get on here half naked? Because you get to look at it. Because men are visual creatures, and y'all do not get tired of looking at images of a chick. I've known dudes for years that they stay looking at me and they want more pictures, more pictures, more pictures. Dudes get on my nerves with that. In my personal life, I'm like, dude, go join my OnlyFans page. That's why I have one. That's why I have one. Because there are men who want to see more pictures, more pictures, more pictures, more videos, more. Okay, fine. But I'm not giving it to you for free. So there's a group of men that want to see more pictures, and you can all go right here, pay this price, and you can see more pictures. Simple. Just like the video girls from the early 2000s, like the Melissa Fords who had the calendar. Dudes want to look at you for free. She didn't get paid much to be in those videos. And dudes want to see more pictures of you. So why not sell a calendar? Women wouldn't be able to do it if the man wasn't there. But then people want to trash that woman. And men never come to the defense of those women. Those women that they like to look at, men never come to the defense of them. But then you have... But y'all looking at it, those women wouldn't have those businesses. Those women wouldn't be making money off of it if dudes wasn't spending money. So obviously, there's a lot of men that spend money wanting to see women. And there's a lot of men who don't spend money and do it for free. Either way, you know what I'm saying? You should be smart enough not to be so dumb. This is critical thinking. But people don't know how to think for themselves. People are followers. People are brainwashed by religion. And it just sounds right to shame any woman who's in her sexual prowess. So to the ladies who are listening, this is why you should do you. Don't do stuff thinking about what your future husband might think, or, you know, what this doing. Because I can tell you right now, men come in all shapes and sizes. There's men who like all types of shit. There's men who like to watch their women have sex. There's men who like the fact that other men are turned on by their women. And there's men who are jealous by that, insecure. You know what I'm saying? But when people talk about men like they're all one homogenous group, like no man would want his woman naked on the internet. Some men don't care, okay? There are couples who do it together. So that means that whatever it is that women do you, it's your body. Do what you want to do with it because you want to do it. And accept people in your life who fall in line with that. Who accept you who you are and not immature enough to be on some judgmental shit because you have sex with 30 dudes in your life and you're a grown ass fucking woman. Like, it's stupid. It's a select few males that have an issue with the beauty and expression of females. That's their problem, not ours. No energy to the negativity. First of all, it's not a few select men. It's the majority of men, number one. Okay, there's a few select men who are mature enough not to care, but there's a whole group of men, and you're a man, so you don't know that. Okay, you're not a woman who's out here living in this world. Every single day of my life, I'm fighting with a dude. Okay, a lot of them are hypocritical. There's so many men who hunt me down somehow, and they're expressing all this interest in me personally, and then they are then insulting me. You know, oh, you're half naked. Every single day of my life, I get into it with men and women. Every single day of my minute. Do I know all men? No, I don't know all men. But do you know all men? No, you don't. So how can you say it's a few select men? Do you fuck men? Do you date men? Do men try to court you? And are you a woman who's half naked? Like, I'm a grown-ass woman. I've been who I am for a long-ass time. And then, do you fucking read? Do you look around the world and do you see cultures around the world and how many cultures around the world women are completely suppressed? Do you see how many cultures around the world where if a woman is not completely covered up, she can get stoned to death? Are you dumb? I can't tell you what you know and don't know. I can tell you what I can tell you that. I can definitely tell you what you know and don't know. Like, there is any day of the week you see on the internet men trashing women, trashing any woman who is sexual and half naked. And I never see men standing up for women, not one. The only man I've ever seen do it is Saucy Santana. Saucy Santana stood up for a black woman now, and he's beefing with DJ Academics. No dude ever does that. So you have all these men who look at women all day, they love looking at it, and they don't ever stand up for women when people start talking about a girl who has an OnlyFans page or whatever. And again, you don't date men. So what are you basing it on? And a lot of men don't know what their male friends are doing. A lot of men have a group of male friends, and you don't know how your male friends act with women. You don't know that. So, dude, shut up. Like, I can't. The internet allows people who are not that smart to be talking. Like, shut up. I can't stand stupid people. Like, I'm literally allergic to stupid people. If I'm snobbish about anything, it's about intellect. Okay? I'm an intellectual snob. And I don't care if I'm half naked or butt-ass naked. I'm smarter than you. Okay? And I'm smarter than a lot of people. And that's just a fact. I'm not saying I'm the smartest person in the world. I'm not saying I know everything, but I speak on the shit that I know. And I'm well-researched and I have superb critical thinking skills, okay? I wasn't indoctrinated by bullshit-ass religion. I don't have a whole bunch of trauma, okay, from how I was treated as a child. I don't have daddy issues. I don't have mommy issues. I don't have none of that shit. I'm coming from a balanced place, somebody who researches, somebody who is a sacred sexual educator and has been involved in this for 20 years. And coming from an attractive woman who's dealt with many men, there's not a day of my life where men aren't coming on to me. So, you're just some dude on the internet. So, boy, bye. Okay? Okay, somebody said, you make a lot of sense and I'd love to actually debate with you. I have a PhD, so it'd be very intellectually engaging debate. Now, you telling me the second dick is not a way for us to have a debate? I don't know. But you should suck a dick. I said it. So whether or not that's a way for us to have a debate, you answer that question. Anyhow, I get tired of annoying ass men. Okay? The facts are the facts. The point of this video is that we are sexual beings. Okay? We all come from sex. We all have sex. Get the fuck over it. Okay? Women are more sexual than men. Study after study shows that. Study after study shows that women cheat more than men. Okay? Women cheat more than men. But men think, oh, women cheat because they're emotional. No, women cheat because a lot of men are whack sexually. A lot of your dicks aren't big enough, okay? A lot of you don't have endurance or skills. That's why women cheat, okay? So, but men somehow believe that, oh, women just want security. They keep with this fucking narrative, okay? And so what? I would way rather hear women talk about sex. And the women don't talk about sex any more than the men do. They don't. And that's not all women talk about. Every song that Cardi B came out with is not about sex, okay? Every song she has is not about that, all right? And that's true of a lot of the female rappers. But if they talk about sex 80% of the songs, so the fuck what? Men were talking about selling drugs and shooting up the hood in 80% of the songs. And that is way worse. Crack has destroyed every black community. Every fucking hood in America got destroyed because of crack dealers. And then people want to complain, oh no, the black man, the police are always messing with the black man. And then NWA is whining and complaining. The police should have been harassing NWA. They should have been, okay? They should have been. The police should have been harassing anybody. It should have been them. They are not motherfucking the roots, okay? And you have all these black men who are the problem. Okay, that people want to complain that, oh, all these boys, single black mothers are ruining boys. No, the fathers who don't take care of their sons and run away from their responsibilities are the problem with these black boys, not the single moms. Where the fuck was the father? Okay, they have a million excuses as to why they weren't in their child's life. I don't never see men holding men responsible. You want to blame everything on the woman. The dick is not long enough. That's why women cheat. Yeah. A lot of men ain't packing like they think they are, and they don't have skills. Okay? And so women cheat for all those reasons. People wonder, why is that woman with that broke dude? Maybe because he has a big dick and he pleases her. Maybe. Okay? Because women like sex too. And so if hip-hop is supposed to be real, okay? If hip-hop, it's supposed to be real, and all these dudes rapped about this destructive shit for all these years, well, that's what we see in our community. We see drugs, and we see violence, and so we're not glorifying it, we're just rapping about it. Well, you know what? Women have sex. People have sex. And if you have a good life, you have sex every fucking week. You're not going weeks without it, okay? And so, why can't you talk about that? That's real life. That's the real life I live. Like, I get tired of all the, and honestly, talking about sex is not destructive. Talking about selling crack and other fucking destructive ass drugs. Talking about who you're going to shoot up and how you're going to shoot them this many times and make sure they're dead and you're going to put them in a casket. Okay? Talking about how you're going to fuck somebody's mother or their baby mom or whatever. All that shit, that's destructive. Okay? But talking about, what you like sexually and how, maybe you want some dude to spend some money on you. How much did the male rappers rap about the money they spent in the strip club? Male rappers started that, talking about all the money they spent. So now you want to keep calling these girls hoes, but do you ever call these men tricks? Do you ever say, all these male rappers are tricks? They talking about going in a strip club and spending thousands of dollars. Like, that's dumb, a use of your money. Oh, you're spending $1,000 in a strip club. There's this rapper named Nikki D. Never heard of her before. And this is the reason why I started talking about where I come from in my background in hip-hop. Never heard of this chick before. But she was on allhiphop.com talking about female rappers now. And all they do is talk about who's the biggest hoe. And she sounded like a dried up idiot. Okay? Because first of all, I ain't never heard of her. And if I never heard of her, she wasn't important. Because I grew up in the 80s and 90s in New York City, immersed in hip-hop. Listen to hip-hop every single day. Ain't never heard of nobody's Nikki D. I talked to a friend of mine who's 56 years old who was really around hip-hop, okay? You see parties with Tupac and Haitian Jack, and my friend was in those pictures, okay? He was really around all that shit. He never heard no goddamn Nikki D. But everybody on the allhiphop.com page is trying to tell me, you don't know her? No, I don't know her. I know Queen Latifah. I know MC Lyte. I know Salt-N-Pepa. I don't fucking know no goddamn Nikki D. I know Roxanne Shante. And then when I went and looked up Nikki D, her music sucks. Okay? All the female rappers right now got better music than her. So to me, her coming out and calling these young girls hoes and they rapping about who's the biggest hoe, you sound like you're mad because your vagina is dried up. Okay? You're insignificant and nobody's checking for you. Nobody is checking for you. And when you have older people talking about she was on the West Coast. Nikki D was on the West Coast. She was a one-hit wonder. No wonder she sucked because there's no good female rappers from the West Coast. I'm sorry. Yo-Yo wasn't good. No, there's not one good female rapper from the West Coast. Okay. But no, she does have a dry vagina. Okay. Because first of all, as a woman, if you're not actively putting the work in when you're younger, as you age, to not have a dried up vagina, that's probably where you're going to end up. Okay. And then when you get a dried up vagina, you're just mad. This woman is trying to be significant. And it's like, girl, don't nobody want to hear your music. Nobody wanted to hear it then, and nobody surely wants to hear it now. And then you have the nerve to say that at 30 years from now, none of them are making songs that people want to listen to 30 years from now. How the fuck do you know people won't listen to 30 years from now? Because people in their 20s, they might listen to the song 30 years from now. Just like a lot of hip people who grew up in the 80s and 90s, they listen to music, who are now grown, listen to music from 30 years ago. But younger people don't want to hear it. Younger people don't want to hear the shit that I'm listening to from 30 years ago, a lot of times. But we do, because that's part of our soundtrack. So how are you going to say that what people are going to listen to in 30 years? Who are you to say that? And then, nobody listening to your shit 1 year later, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years later. So who are you to say that? And then when I make that comment, people are attacking me. Oh, she deserves respect. She deserves respect for what? Like, first of all, art is subjective. Her music is trash. She's insignificant. Those are facts. It might hurt your feelings, but it's facts. She's insignificant. I ain't never seen any hip-hop honor. Like, I've seen many documentaries on hip-hop. Never seen her in it. When they have hip-hop honors, they talk about female rappers. They never mention her. She's not significant, okay? And then this corny-ass DJ out of Brooklyn named Hard Hitting Harry, he's Haitian. He's going to be trying to tell me, try to think he's schooling me. It's like, first of all, she deserves respect. You shouldn't, man, fuck her, okay? She's not respecting the people now, so why does she deserve respect? For what? She's being disrespectful by saying that all these girls now don't represent who's the biggest hoe. And to me, calling somebody a hoe is just stupid anyway. Why are you calling them a hoe? Because they like sex? Because they talk about what they want? Maybe they talk about dudes paying some bills, but isn't that what a lot of people do in marriage? I mean, and ain't dudes rapping about that too? Dudes rapping about paying chicks' bills? Dudes rapping about, especially Southern rappers. New York rappers would never be doing that, but Southern rappers definitely used to be doing that. I used to think that was a Southern thing for dudes to be paying all the chicks' bills, especially Atlanta, you know? And I don't need anybody to tell me about how I speak, okay? I'm a grown-ass woman. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. I don't need anybody to tell me that, oh, you should speak better. You shouldn't curse so much. I don't need someone to tell me, oh, you shouldn't be half naked so much. You should put on more clothes. I don't need someone to tell me, oh, you should cut your nails. Fuck all of y'all, okay? I'm saying what I'm saying, okay? Go tell Dame Dash that he should speak more respectful. Go tell him that. Go tell Donald Trump that he should speak more respectful. Go do that shit, okay? Because I'm not changing anything because somebody on the internet thinks that I should be different. Fuck no. If you have a problem, go somewhere else. That's all I got to say to you. All right? Period. Now, Nikki D is insignificant, is dried up, is out of line. Her music ain't popping, okay? And people are going to listen to 30 years from now. Is she telling Missy Elliott that she's rapping about who's the biggest hoe? Is she going to say that to Foxy? Is she going to say that to Kim? Is she going to say that to Patra? And then you had Lauryn Hill, who wasn't doing that. And Lauryn Hill was supposed to be so stand-up, and she wasn't half naked. Nobody, back then they used to always say that the industry was making women be half naked, right? That's what they used to say back then. Okay? Now, these girls are half naked because they want to be. They want to be. Like, I want to be. Nobody told me I had to be like this. I was in my house like this. I'm moisturized. Let me just it's too much to find some pants, whatever. I was dancing. Let me just film. I don't give a fuck. Right? It's my body. And before we were colonized, we were walking around naked and nobody was tripping. If you look at some tribes right now, the very few tribes in hot places that weren't colonized, they're walking around naked and people ain't tripping. Okay? So if you have a problem with nudity, that's you. That's your brainwashed self. You need to activate your critical thinking skills and ask, what is your problem with it? Because people want to talk all day, especially black people. Like, let's say about milk. Oh, milk is for baby cows. We're the only animals that drink milk from... First of all, that's not true. Plenty of animals drink milk. Secondly, that's a bad point. When people make the point, oh, humans are only animals that drink milk, which is not true. But even if it was true, so what? Humans are also the only animals that wear glasses. We're the only animals that wear jewelry. We're the only animals that go get our hair done. We're the only animals that get manicures. We're the only animals that wear clothes. We're the only animals that drive cars or fly in planes or live in houses. So what the fuck is your point? What's your point? That's all besides the point. That's all besides the point. Okay? And I just get tired of all this sexual shaming. People love to sexually shame women. Okay? Period. Usher had herpes, had court cases from men and women that sued him because he infected them with herpes. But people still rock with Usher. They really rock with him. But then Sexy Red says she got an STD from the father of her child. And people, oh, she's disgusting. Oh, she's nasty. She's trash. Are people saying that about fucking Usher? Who has something that's way more difficult to cure, but it can be cured, okay? Check that out on my page to Body Scientist. But the medical community would tell you it can't be, okay? But it's way more difficult because it's the virus. And he had several lawsuits, and he paid off a couple women. But he had lawsuits from men and women. But people don't treat Usher like that. But let it be a woman. And then that man that was in this conversation had the nerve to try to argue with me about this shit. Like, dude, open your motherfucking eyes. I don't have to know every man on the planet. And neither do you. Pay attention. You can see the attack that happens with women all the time. Any woman who stands up in her sexual prowess, any woman who's half naked, any woman who's expressing what she wants sexually, it's a problem. Men constantly try to shame her, and a lot of women do the same thing because they're just as brainwashed. There's not a single day, I've been who I am for a long time. There's not a single day in my life when I'm not arguing with some man and or woman because I say something about anything. I could be talking about anything. And they come to my page, oh, you half naked. Oh, you won the poll. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, do you think, and saying all this shit. Well, I came from a two-family household, a parents who loved me. I wasn't fucking abused. I wasn't sexually abused. My dad was there every single day of my life. Okay? I had a healthy, beautiful family. Okay? I don't have hood trauma, none of that shit. Okay? But what I am is a researcher. Okay? And if I had all my books behind me, I would show you. Because I'm sure that none of you read all the books I've read. Or even half of the shit. Okay? So I'm a researcher and I think critically. The body and sexuality is my realm. I know what the fuck I'm here for. Okay? I know what I'm here for. Okay? And if you have a black girl in Brazil, like if I was in Brazil right now wearing this and I'm in the street dancing sambas and all of a sudden, oh, that's cultural. If I'm in Trinidad or somewhere in the Caribbean with a carnival outfit on and my little bikini bottoms and my feathers, which are beautiful, oh, that's cultural. But let it be a girl in Atlanta or anywhere in America who is dressed like that and minding and shaking and gyrating. Oh, now she's acting like a hoe. She's disrespecting herself. Blah, 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 blah. You obviously know nothing about black dance. You obviously know nothing about the colonizers and what the colonizers said and what they imposed on the black dancing body. So you sound like a colonizer when you start talking like that. And a lot of black people sound like that. And they don't know it because they don't go read primary documents. They don't study the history behind our dances. There's so much history I've learned about Afro-Indigenous people in the Americas from studying our dances. Period. There's so much about history that is not in books that's in those dances. And most of y'all don't study that shit. But it's just easy to be a follower and go along with, oh, these women, I'm so sick of hearing that motherfucking complaining. To all the female rappers out there, do you. Talk about all the sex you want, all the dick you want, all the pussy you want, all the coming you want. Go ahead. Talk about the money, whatever. Ladies, who cares? Because these men did it for years and it was worse. Because they were talking about shooting up the block, shooting up the hood, selling crack, okay, and other drugs. And now these male rappers, and then every other month you got another rapper murdered. You all these record labels, Murder Inc. and Death Row. What the fuck kind of record labels is that? And then motherfuckers how many people got murder charges and rape charges? Tupac got rape charges. Motherfucking Mike Tyson went to jail for rape. All these people, and Mike Tyson was a motherfucking animal back in the day. But, oh, you just want to put those people on pedestals. But just let the women talk about sex and, oh my God, they're doing too much. And oh my God, it's such a problem for the black community. And oh my God. Please, okay? It's hypocritical as fuck. Thank you so much, Josh Richardson. He said, you are amazing and I love the way you do the things you do. Everything you do is perfect and amazing. I appreciate it. I do. Because some people aren't smart enough to pay attention. They just want to project. And yeah, I'm cursing a lot, so what? I grew up around black intellectuals. I grew up around real deal black intellectuals. Some of you who follow my work and follow me have seen some of that. But they all curse a lot, okay? So grow tough skin. Because the smartest people on the planet fucking curse a lot and will curse your ass out for saying some stupid shit. And I'm definitely one of them. Okay? So I, as a woman, am tired of this shit. As a black woman, I get tired of this shit. And I feel like men can't make up their mind. They want a prudish woman. They want a sexual woman. The woman's sexual. She's too sexual. She's prudish. She's too prudish. Like, ain't nobody trying to please all you dudes. Women, do you. Men are going to fall in line regardless, because men who have, let's say most of the men on the planet didn't want a woman that had sex with 50 dudes, right? They thought that was too much. Imagine if all these men found out that all of the women that they like had sex with 100 dudes. What would you do as a man? What would you do if you found out like basically every chick has had sex with 100 dudes? Would you just not have sex with women anymore? What would you do? Would you have sex with men? Would you just masturbate for the rest of your life? What would you do? Or would you be forced to accept it? See, the thing is that a lot of women tiptoe on male egos because we know the male ego is fragile. A lot of women are afraid of being judged, okay? It takes a brave person to not care about that. Me personally, I don't sit around counting how many people I had sex with. That's like counting how many people's hands you shook in life. How many people you gave a hug to in life. I can see if you're 20 and you got that number because you just started out. But who the fuck is keeping count? I definitely don't sit around like, oh, this is the 25th person, the 35th, 4th. I don't sit around doing that shit. That's dumb. Yeah, no, men are so hypocritical. So I had to make this, and I'll continue with it another time. Somebody said that you're well-learned and you don't curse people out. I don't care. You might not be the smartest of the smart, okay? There's a lot of highly intelligent people who curse people out, okay? And just because you say you're highly intelligent don't mean you are. And it doesn't mean that 100% of people who are highly intelligent do that either, okay? The vast majority of them do. But I don't know that you're highly intelligent just because you say that. Like, that's a matter of opinion. Like, and I'm a critic of who I consider to be highly intelligent. And I grew up around real deal scholars. I'm sure I grew up around more scholars than you. And they all talk crazy. Okay, you have a PhD. There's a lot of people with PhDs who are idiots. Having a PhD doesn't mean that you're really smart. It means that you are really persistent at doing schoolwork. And a lot of times in school, they try to indoctrinate you. In order to get those degrees, you have to tell them what they want to hear so you can get those degrees. So there's a lot of clueless people with PhDs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what? That doesn't, just because somebody has a PhD does not mean that they're really smart or that they're highly intelligent at all. Okay, so anyhow, but congrats on your PhD though. It just means you're a hard worker. No, it's 100% true. Just because someone has a PhD does not mean that they're really intelligent at all. Okay? It means they're really good at doing what they have to do to pass these exams. That's what it means. And you have to please the professors and what they want to hear so you can graduate. It's a lot of indoctrination that comes with that. So anyhow, I'm going to stop this video. I just had to make this video because I get tired of the stupid ass conversation with people acting like they have to do this whole intervention because women are talking about sex when people been talking about sex forever. Okay, forever. There's love songs from back in the day where they was talking about sex. People been talking about sex. Stop sounding like a fucking lame. Okay, we're grown. That's why I love when Sexy Red said, "You trying to hide that pussy, bitch, we grown," or some shit. She says some shit like that. Bitch, we all grown, you know? And it's true. We are. We're all grown. We all have sex unless something's wrong with you or you have a really pathetic life. We all come from sex, okay? Who cares? And these grown women are not making songs for kids. Grown people can't tiptoe around kids when they're not making shit for kids. That's for the adults to monitor that. Adults been making adult music, and the parents had to, you know, there were songs I sang when I was a kid that people be telling me, oh, you can't sing that. And I didn't even know that it was about sex, but I was told don't sing it. That's for the adults to do that. Adults can't be like, I'm not going to make music anything sexual because kids might hear it. It's not for kids, it's for adults. Anyhow, I am intellectual people learn and grow all kinds of ways. Okay? But I curse, I'm always gonna curse. If you say some stupid shit, then I'm gonna curse. And I don't care who's offended or who doesn't like it or who thinks it's not ladylike. I don't give a fuck. I don't. So it's a waste of your energy trying to change me. Worry about yourself. If you have something to say, then say it. But talking to me about how I speak is not it. You'll get nowhere with that. Because you're not the boss of me. Nobody is the motherfucking boss of me. I am a lioness, and I'm going to say what the fuck I feel like saying. And I don't speak on shit that I don't know about. I speak on what I know about. That's it. If you're offended, grow tougher skin, grow bigger balls. I don't know what to tell you. All right? Now, I'm sure there's a bunch of shit I didn't say in this video that I wanted to say, but I gotta go to the gym and I gotta go on about my day. So, to be continued, because there's a lot of things I've been wanting to talk about, but I've been busy being a nerd. Okay, I'm working on a graduate degree myself, and yeah, like, schools do try and indoctrinate you. But I'm playing that game, working on my degree. There's a lot of time, especially when you're studying the sciences, okay? So, I haven't been doing videos, but I'll be back soon. So just stay tuned. And for those of you who do want to see more of me, because I see some people asking, I do have 2 OnlyFans pages. One is of me dancing. It's just dance videos because I dance anyway. I'm always going to dance, so it's dance videos. Another page of mine, and that one is onlyfans.com/sacredsensualista. And then my other page is just my artwork, me talking about things around sacred sexuality, and my photos, whatever, you know, I'm an art model, nudity, you know, the body, whatever, okay? That's what it is. Your doctorate, okay, what is your doctorate in? And I'm not saying that somebody's doctorate, okay, first of all, I choose my words very carefully, so I'm going to need you to pay attention, okay? And as somebody with a doctorate, I'm sure you know how to pay attention. And don't put words in my mouth. But I never said your doctorate didn't mean anything. I never said that. That's not what I said at all. I said that because somebody has a doctorate does not mean that they're super intelligent or smart. I said that it means that that person is persistent, okay, with getting their schoolwork done. And it depends on what you got your doctorate in. Because there's a lot of indoctrination that happens at universities, period. And in order to get these degrees, you have got to play the game and tell them what they want to hear. You can't really be going, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people with advanced level degrees who aren't that smart. So I'm saying that just because someone has a doctorate doesn't mean that they're super smart or intelligent. It means that they're persistent at getting the work done. I didn't say it didn't mean anything. No, it means something. I said, but I'm saying it doesn't necessarily mean that you're super smart and intelligent. That's what I said. And then, first of all, as a woman, you don't have to be a sex worker, okay? Any woman, okay, who is what I call a showgirl, okay? I call it a showgirl. And that's any woman who's half naked. It could be a lingerie model, a swimsuit model. It could be a stripper. It could be a porn star. It could be just any of those things, you know. A singer who's half naked. Anytime you are that type of woman, people always want to put you in a stupid box. Like, they automatically think you're dumb. Because you can't possibly have beauty and brains. You can't possibly have an amazing body and be in touch with your sexuality and also be smart. So people always try to put women in a stupid box. And I remember being a kid and loving Madonna, and I remember how much people used to be so mad at Madonna, and I could not understand what the big deal was about Madonna. Like, what's the big deal? Everybody's freaking out. Society cannot handle women. Maybe Europe is different, but America and some other countries in the world that are very suppressive cannot handle women who stand in their sexual prowess and own themselves. Most people have been brainwashed by religion to think that women need to be covered up and quiet. And so a woman doesn't have to be a sex worker to be attacked in that way. That's always going to happen. Okay? And a female rapper who has on booty shorts, she's not a sex worker. Okay? But people are going to come for her too. So a woman doesn't have to be a sex worker to get attacked. You just have to be an attractive woman who stands up in her sexual prowess, who shows her body, and people are going to have a problem. All right? So I'm going to end this video here, to be continued, because I know there's a bunch of other shit that I want to talk about. I'll do it in future videos. I got to go. My phone is dying, but I will see you guys later. Okay? Thank you for listening. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, and I will see you later. Peace.